So you will recall last time on the painting channel we did some D&D miniatures, some fantasy, old school fantasy miniatures. This time I thought we'd move on to science fiction in the form of 40k, and I'd show you how we did these knights here. So with that, sorry about the quality, it's late at night. I've got the 3D printer running in the background. But with that, we're going to share a new set of painting skills. Let's have a look, shall we? G'day folks, Andy here from McDowell Manor. Knight Armiger. You can see I've done all the bottom right the way around with a black underspray. It's actually a primer and finisher. At the top though, I've sprayed down with white. Now that's, believe it or not, called a Xanathal effect, and the logic is that's the way the light would shine, and so those, well, I wanted it to be able to paint over the black tops with coloured, because there's coloured areas, and the same with those big knee plates. So hopefully that'll let us achieve that. And I've gone fairly light on the back because I wanted to keep the look of the black in the vent slits. So step one for the Armiger Knight is done. To show you these before the first coat dried. Now that's in a contrast paint, which are very similar to speed paints by Vallejo. Contrast paint is just what Citadel calls it. You can see, look, that's an awful mess, isn't it? It's only the first coat. You're never going to get it right on the first coat. Your second or third coat will even that out nicely. And it's actually made to do the effect that you're seeing. So where it's lighter underneath, you'll get a lighter colour, and it deepens where it sits in pools in recesses and stuff like that. And hopefully that will make sense on why that Xanathal undercoat's important, because it gives me the light surfaces where the light would run, because remember I sprayed straight down, and it leaves me the darker surfaces where the shadows would fall, which should work perfectly with those contrast paints. But we'll see, hey? So I've just been getting the base blue and black. There'll be a lot of silver go over that, although you can see it's already got highlights. Just getting the base coat blues and blacks. Now looking at the way that contrast paint's gone, gave me a bit of an idea. There's a couple of bits of the red I'm not real happy, not real happy with how they sat either. So I've gone over with a more thick coat of paint, which I've done on both models. But that guy gave me the idea to try another tin of paint, which is, I think, Enchanter Blue. Thought it might be the turquoise from the Eldar, but it's not. And I've just painted highlights on there, and I really like the way that's coming together. So that was just a test run to see what happened. And any of the mistaken highlights can actually stay in place, and they just look part of the model like it was there. So what was an error in only one part of the model has turned out to be a flash of inspiration, and I'm really gonna go to town, especially on this top carapace and these shoulder pads, because that's where the majority of your light is. So we're still mucking about. I'm just enjoying the process, to be honest with you, and we'll see how that unfolds. You can see really all I've done is make sure the black's down, and I've got subtle on the blue and the red. So you can see the shading and the highlight effects there. So with the reds, I've gone, the dark red is blood red, and the lighter shade for the highlights is Blood Angel Orange, and similarly, contrast ultramarine blue contrast as the base. And then I found the Enchanted Blue really works well as a highlight. So happy with that. We'll continue on now. We'll do all the silver work, and then we'll come back and do the detail. The last base coat I'm about to put down, you can see I'm halfway through, is the gold. I've still got the legs and the feet. Look, to be honest, at this stage I find the most boring of all. But I'm almost finished putting the damn base coats down. Once I do that, when I come back to play with details and fix things up, that's when I get really quite excited, and I love doing that. That's what brings the miniature to life, folks. So who's a pretty boy then? That's pretty much it for this one. I haven't done the other one, obviously. But anyway, I've done this one. I've obviously got to put the transfers on, and I need to paint weapons. They're magnetized, so they'll be able to just be fitted as we need them. But I'm pretty happy with that. There he is from the side, and here he is from the back. Yeah, I think that's reasonably good. Once the transfer's on, I think she'll ought to look $1 million. Alright, we'll continue, and I'll show you. We're near the end on this one now. So I know it's a bit hard to see in this light, but as promised, I tidied up the detail. I've added transfers now, which always come up a treat, of course. Just those little extra details go a long way. The boys are looking quite pretty. And I printed some 3D printed some base toppers, they're called. They just sit nicely on top of your bases and sort of take it next level. So I've 3D printed them, then I've given them a bit of a paint up. All we've got left now, folks, is the weapons. Really happy with these guys as they are. And you can see over there, that's the weapons with a couple of figures, those black heaps. We're getting close. Really am very, very happy with these guys. It's a win, but we're not finished yet. There are two variants of this knight. One is this guy here, who's apparently anti-tank, and he's a Warglaive. And the other one is called a Helverin, and it's anti-infantry. So you can see there's enough weapons to make either or. Well, they get fielded in lots of two. So you've got to be able to make two of them. And what you can probably see, hopefully, in the end of that weapon where my thumb is there, that's a magnet. So I've magnetized them for easy swapping. And although it was a bit of a pain in the butt, I painted all four. That way I can field both variants. You can see we've ended up, that effect, I started doing it on the guns. It's a blend. So it goes from a dark red to an orange to a yellow. And I've done a similar thing on the chain swords, so they fit in. You're now looking at, you can see we've got the transfers on. And I'm actually, and I've painted the bases, my 3D printed bases. I'm actually pretty bloody happy, folks. So there's your two 40k knights in That's a 32mm scale, so they are actually quite large. They're the smallest of the Knights, apparently. So there is the hatch with the viewports white. Now it actually looks through a screen which is projected from the head of the little guy. So that is about the right size for a 32mm figure to sit in that hatch and drive it. So like I say, smallest of the Knights. Very happy with what's happened here. And hopefully that's been of some value to you. You can see I have indeed enjoyed the hell out of doing the detail, which is what I said I always like. So if you've enjoyed this painting clip, there's probably going to be a fair few more. Eventually I will go to tutorials, but let's just start earning a bit of cred and showing you that I kind of do know what I do, even if I'm an old fart. So feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these. Right, you have a good one, eh? Hooroo.